Oh my, he's wearing that stupid hat again. You know what that means. Welcome to Take 10 with Uncle Dinty. We're going to start with a Joe Eli song. St. Valentine drove a red Continental with a headlight out and a dent in the side. He said it wasn't his, it was only a rental, but he drove it every single night. St. Valentine wore shades and a cowboy hat. He looked straight out of Lonesome Dove. You never saw his eyes, but you knew down deep inside he was longing for a long-lost love. The original lover had a broken heart, and to the ground his blood did flow. And for every drop that fell to the earth, a red, red rose would grow. St. Valentine ate pizza every Monday night and chased it with Johnny Walker Black. The waitresses would stare, but he just didn't care. He just wanted his lover back. St. Valentine wore a t-shirt of the Virgin Madonna with the sleeves cut out and a tear through the heart. He wore it like a shield to protect his pride and honor. He was tired of being so far apart. The original lover had a broken heart, and to the ground his blood did flow. For every drop that fell to the earth, a red, red rose would grow. Well, St. Valentine would circle the shopping center mall with his radio wailing the blues. He'd park outside the door of a video store like he was one of the chosen few. St. Valentine drove a red Continental with a headlight out and a dent in the side. He swore it wasn't real, it was only mental, but he drove it every single night. Oh yeah, he drove it every single night. Joe Eli's St. Valentine. That's a song I've wanted to calligraphy the moment I heard it, simply because of all the imagery and the things you can do with roses and ink and all that. Speaking of calligraphications, today's is called Caliban's Greatest Hits. These are 4 chunks of some of the coolest stuff Caliban gets to say in The Tempest. And it's gifted to Thom, who still knows all these lines after 30-something years. Yeah, we did this a long time ago. But well, I move it closer so you can see it, but that won't work because it kept falling over, so I taped it to the stand. You can see it much more of it in Dinty Piper Art and Music on Facebook. Just look it up and maybe you'll... Now, we're playing songs, again, written by Texans because I just had a longing. One of the favorite places I ever played was Lukenbach, Texas. It's like a summer camp for songwriters. And not really. It's more like a place that lucky tourists are able to find. Very near Fredericksburg, Texas. But anyways, one time... I was in a pickin' circle there, and this lovely Angel Granny showed up with a lovely Angel Granny mandolin in Ep style, and she played Butch Hancock's If You Were a Bluebird, and the rest of us we knew the song, but we sat back and watched her glow with it, and I'm hoping I can maybe have a glimmer or two with Butch Hancock's If You Were a Bluebird. You were a bluebird, you'd be a sad one. I'd give you a true word, but you already had one. If you were a bluebird, you'd be crying, you'd be flying home. If you were a raindrop, you'd shine like a rainbow. If you were a train stop, the conductor would sing low. If you were a raindrop, you'd be falling, you'd be calling home. If you were a hotel, you'd be a grand one. But if you hit a slow spell, do you think you could stand one? If you were a hotel, well, I'd lean on your doorbell, I'd call you my home. And if I was a highway, well, I'd stretch alongside you. I'd help you pass byways that would dissatisfy you. If I was a highway, well, I'd be stretching, I'd be fetching you home. If you were a bluebird, you'd be a sad one. I'd give you a true word, but you've already had one. If you were a bluebird, you'd be crying, you'd be flying home. You'd be flying home. Butch Hancock's If You Were a Bluebird. Butch Hancock is good buds with Joe Eli. These two songs are, they both cover each other's songs, and they started a band back in 1974. It was Joe, Butch, and Jimmy Dale Gilmore, and they called themselves the Flatlanders. And every few years or so, they get together and make another record, but they're few and far between, like goals in football, so they are precious. If you happen to pick up any Flatlanders, Butch Hancock, Joe Eli, or Jimmy Dale Gilmore, you will not be disappointed. Don't you dare call it country. Now here's someone you may have heard of, Lyle, Lovett. This song I heard actually first from Willie Nelson, and then went and bought the Lyle Lovett record. It's a metaphorical, allegorical kind of rodeo lover song. Let's have a hand for that young cowboy and wish him better luck next time. Hope we'll see him up in Fargo or somewhere farther down the line. This time he sure drew a bad one that nobody could ride. By the way he pulled his hat on, you knew he'd be there for the fight. It's the classic contradiction, the unavoidable affliction. And it don't take much to predict, son, the way it always goes. 'Cause one day she'll say she loves you, and the next she'll be tired of you, and push will always come to shove you on that midnight rodeo. almost made it to the buzzer. Somehow he gave up in the end. He put one hand around the other and let that pickup man on in. It was his last chance to ride it. Now he'll have to move along. But he knows back in his mind that he won't be away for long. It's the classic contradiction, the unavoidable affliction. It don't take much to predict, son, the way it always goes. 'Cause one day she'll say she loves you, then the next she'll be tired of you, and push will always come to shove you on that midnight rodeo. So let's have a hand for that young cowboy and wish him better luck next time, and hope we'll see him up in Fargo or somewhere farther down the line. All right, we'll see you sometime farther down the line. And thanks again for listening to Take 10 with Uncle Dinty.